Hello, and welcome to Film Slam Stream's post-film conversation for Duet. My name is Eric Siler, and I'm an instructor of film, media arts, and communications, as well as moderator for this conversation. We're very pleased to be joined by the director of Duet, Lyuwei Chen. Lyuwei Chen is an award-winning documentary filmmaker based in New York. Graduated from New York University in 2023. She holds a master's degree in news and documentary. Additionally, as a pianist turned documentarian, she earned her first master's degree in musicology from the Communication University of China. Hello, Louis, and welcome.
Hi, Eric. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so glad to be here. I'm so excited. And I appreciate this opportunity to introduce my idea of making film Duet and to have a great conversation with Eric.
I look forward to speaking to you as well about the film. Uh, Usually I ask this before we start the interview, but are you fluent in Mandarin or another language?
Yeah, Mandarin and Cantonese, but actually I was born and raised in a southeast city in China. The city's name is called Hangzhou. And my mom was born in Shanghai. So I would say my native language is Mandarin.
Mandarin. Well,
Mm,
sometimes we have students that are studying Mandarin that are watching this, and especially watching your film for the language that you had in it. And can you say a special hello to our students that are studying Mandarin?
yeah, definitely. 你好,大家好. That means hello.
Well, thank you for that. Let's start with the film. I understand you're a pianist as well too. So, how did you get connected through the film? Did you get connected as a musician or as a filmmaker to the idea of this making this film?
Yeah, this film idea has been buried in my mind for years because I started learning the piano at 4, and my mom is a piano professor. So um, I always wanted to make a documentary to understand better about my parents. Both of them experienced the Cultural Revolution in China in last century, like 1960s to 1970s. So I started this idea. I think the picture of the impact of the political and historical movement, and I wanted to capture it. I wanted to understand the generation of my parents and as well as myself. So I started this idea as a documentary filmmaker. However, have been feeling this idea in my mind, both as a pianist and documentary filmmaker, to be honest.
Okay. So, uh, so when you tell us when you made the film and how did you go about making the film? Because I understand probably most of it was shot in China, is that correct?
Yes. My participants, the father of the film, who is a very famous Asian American composer. He was born and raised in Shanghai. So actually, I filmed this documentary in the United States, in France, and in China, Shanghai and Hong Kong.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So when you started filming, how did you go about formulating the story? Did you know what you were going to do ahead of time, or you just started collecting footage and filming and then create the story?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, at the beginning, I just had the idea that I wanted to do a film related to piano, to music. And it's because at the time, I actually had an idea for my final thesis about a hip hop singer in Queens. And I haven't started it yet, but I was, fascinating about it. I was fascinated about it. And then my professor invited me to a piano recital. and the music pieces are all from Chopin. And when I listen to the music, I realized that my finger just like this. And then suddenly I feel like maybe I should go deeper to my heart, the bottom of my heart, to see what kind of documentary I really wanted to bring to the audience this time. So I changed my idea. I started reaching out to musicians who was born and raised like in China and who experienced the political and historical period like from 1950s to 1970s. And I think I reached out to more than 10 musicians. Only 2 of them would like to work with me. One is Bright Shen. But by then, I didn't know that he has a daughter. And during our first Zoom interview, I asked him a lot of questions about the history, about his personal experience. At the end of the Zoom meeting, he suddenly remind me that he said, like, now I'm more concerned about my daughter because she hasn't fully committed to be a professional pianist. And at that moment, I suddenly saw the story. And I asked him, like, how old was your daughter? Or are there any possibility I can get in touch with her? And he said, like, definitely. Then he just sent the contact information to me, like about his daughter and his wife. And just I flew to Michigan to do this documentary. That's how the film was developed and was produced.
Okay. So uh you said you went to Michigan, but so you shot parts of it in Michigan and also in China?
Yeah, I
Okay.
filmed, yeah. Yes, I filmed by myself in Michigan because Fei Fei was almost 12 at the time. I didn't want it to bring like a big crew, and also because I was a pianist and I would like to enjoy the intimacy or like the space that between 2 pianists. So I filmed by myself there. I filmed for almost 10 days. I would say like 10 days or 11 days. And then because at the time and Bright Shen and his wife decided that they wanted to move back to China for a year and to help Fei Fei make her decision to be a professional musician by enrolling her at the Music Conservatory of China. So that's how I followed them from the United States to China. And then Bright had a concert in Fontainebleau, France. So then how we traveled from the United States, Michigan to Fontainebleau, and then to Hong Kong, and then to Shanghai.
Interesting. Wow. Wow. Very dedicated. How long did this process take? How many months or years did you work on this documentary?
Oh, I wish I could have years. Yeah, because it's a final thesis. So I spent like 3 months for filming and then maybe 2 months for editing. So I started the program in January at the end of July. Sorry about it. I started filming at the end of July and I finished editing at the end of January 2023.
Interesting. So, with that said, question I just wanted to know was when you discovered the daughter, even though you had an idea of mine, how difficult was it to shift the focus of your original intent for the documentary? Did you find yourself fighting that, or did you just let the story just come to you set and say, okay, I'm just going to go with this and focus on the daughter as well?
Yeah, that's great. I feel like I'm very lucky, and as well as like when you really wanted to do something, and I feel like that the world will open windows and doors for you because like my interest will be intergenerational dynamics. Although I reached out to Bryson asking for an interview, and still in my mind, the bottom of my heart, I pay more attention to intergenerational dynamics. So then suddenly I got the opportunity. I just saw the story immediately, and I decided I'm going to tell a parallel story between a father and daughter. Because like back then, like when the father was 12, his piano was taken, right? Which made him decide that he wanted to be a professional musician. But now when the daughter was about turning 12 and her father started getting very nervous about her choice. So it's kind of a parallel story together. So I would say like I just let the story tell itself.
Exactly. Can you give us an update? Are you still in touch with the father and daughter? If so, what is going on in their lives now?
Yeah, definitely. I'm still trying to film more. And to be honest, I wish I can, film until Feifei like fully committed to be a professional pianist or just, change to another career path. So I wanted to capture the moment and it will be a feature one in the future, maybe. And like now they are coming back to the United States, and Feifei is going to enroll at a high school in Michigan. And Bright is coming back, continuing to be the music professor at the University of Michigan. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I hope that does happen. You have certainly more opportunities to film and continue this and perhaps turning this into a feature.
So yeah, that's my small goal in the future, hopefully. Yeah.
Mm. So let's talk about some of the production elements in the film. One thing you did was you chose to have animation in the film. Why did you choose to add that element to help tell the story?
Yes. I would say there are two reasons. And the first is really because like the archive footage is not enough about that history. And Bride only has like 5 private family picture, like and I thought about it, and like one animation clips can be used to help narration, that's for sure, what happened. And another is because it can convey emotions, because we cannot really capture the emotions and get the feelings from the so limited archive footage. And back then the archive footages, they're like the archive footage is like more about uh the nation and how people are engaged in the political movements. There is so limited footage from the personal or private perspective, telling the story from the bottom of someone's heart and soul. So that's why I wanted to use animation.
Okay. Yeah, that was a really nice touch to help move the story along. Uh, Tell us about the response to the film. How did the your subjects respond when they saw the film?
Yeah, I would say my subjects, they are really open-minded. Um, when I first sent a link to the father, I was a little bit unsure and, a little bit upset about it because it touched upon like really heavy topic about the history. But the father was very open-minded. He said he loved it. And then, yeah, and I also asked like what's Fei-Fei's reaction to it. And actually, because like for me personally, I pay more attention to Fei-Fei's reaction. And she's only 13 this year. And they told me like Fei-Fei loves it. But when Fei-Fei saw the film, that filming, she is crying because of the wrong notes. And she just walked away. And then she felt like it's showing her like vulnerability. Can I say that? So yeah, and I met Fei after the film finished and screened, and I had a conversation with her. I explained to her like why that moment included in the film, and I also asked her about what's your feeling about it? And if we are going to continue film something, like, do you have any suggestions for me? So I really wanted to make sure that she is, happy and not feeling weird about it. And yeah, so I visited her in July 2023 because I started filming in July 2022 and I revisited her and I did more filming and she is okay with it. So yeah, that's the reactions.
Oh, good, good. That was an important conversation to have with her. And even though you're a filmmaker, you do want people to be comfortable because you're, putting their lives on screen
Yeah.
as well. And uh, so, is there anything you would do differently? Is there anything that you left out you would have added in? Anything you added in you would have taken out? What would you do differently?
Mm, I hope I can include more about their lives in China. But back then, like, it's impossible because Fei was studying at the conservatory and it has like really restricted access. So I didn't have chance to film more. But like that's documentary. You need to be like you need to learn how to do like improvise. Like you can, you change when the topic and the story changed itself. I can film more, but like I didn't have the chance. So then I just need to tell the story with the footage I have already got. So yeah.
Okay. So what's next for you? Is there something that you're working on now, that we can see in the near future?
Hopefully. And yeah, I have two documentaries going on. And one documentary is about mental health issues in the Asian American community and how people reacted to it. And another documentary is a personal doc. I hope it will be my first feature. And it's about my story with my mom. And yeah, so I wanted to use this documentary to really dive deeper into the complex mother and daughter relationship within the context of the rapidly changing like historical and like cultural and the social like the dynamics, I would say. Yeah.
Interesting. I like the fact that you like to delve deeper into your documentaries, not just display lies, but go take it a little step further.
Yeah.
Well, Lyuwei Chen,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us today, and I wish you all the best. And before let you go, can you say a special goodbye to our Mandarin language students?
Okay. I can say goodbye in many different languages. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's called 再见, but sometimes we say casually, we say bye bye. So like that's almost the same. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, thanks again.
Yeah.
And thank you to our audience for joining us for this important and invigorating conversation. For more information about our upcoming film festival, please visit us at clevelandfilm.org. I'm Eric Siler. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric. That's a wonderful interview.